So guys, here's what we got to talk about. This drone technology, the drones that are being seen. A lot of people think they got the answers now. They think they finally wrapped it up and found out or determined what these drones are, or at least in good probability. And I'm not going to rule out entirely what they're supposing, and there may be some truth to that. But the total phenomenology doesn't really fit. There are outliers, and lots of them, that don't quite fit into that scenario. And that scenario being that these things are sniffing around for nuclear materials, be it a dirty bomb or an actual nuclear warhead. Now, we do know that, and I've talked about this in the past, that when the Soviet Union fell, when the Iron Curtain fell, the Russians reported that they had backpack nukes in the United States, and that maybe up to 80 of them were missing. So there's something to consider with this. It's reported by some that there may be nukes, some of the nukes that were given up by Ukraine may be missing. It's kind of hard to believe, but we do know that when the Soviet Union fell, a lot of their nuclear materials were not well accounted for, that a lot of their facilities had no security whatsoever, and there was a big demand for what they had. And we know that a lot of stuff was intercepted on the black market. However, that's probably just the tip of the iceberg. We know what they found. What did they not find? What are the unknown unknowns? And so there are things to be concerned about with that scenario, that maybe they are out sniffing for nuclear materials. And as I said, that may be part of the answer. Some of the drones do seem to fit within the context of those drones that do that job, and the operational scenarios are similar. That seems to fit a fair bit of the phenomenology seen, but not all of it. There are outliers that do not fit within that nice, pretty bow-tied package. There's some things outside that package. In fact, a lot. A lot. So to be so dismissive so fast is maybe dangerous. Hey, we got a super chat in the house. Nanny, thank you so much. Have coffee on me. So great to see you more often. Well, salute to you. This is hard to do because I got to get up early. But there's just so much happening, and this is so well. I've been wanting to talk about this past couple of nights, and I just couldn't get to it. So it's time to bring it out now and talk about it. So, guys, here's the skinny on it. Here's what don't fit. Think about this. If they're out, if that's their sole purpose, is they're sniffing for some lost nuclear material, why is this pretty much a worldwide, or at least an international phenomenon? This is occurring in other NATO nations. Well, maybe not worldwide, but at least in other NATO nations, particularly in the UK, Germany. Our air bases in these localities have also been witness to drone activity, probably before it kicked up in New Jersey, because that was where some of the first reports came from. And here's another thing that really don't fit. It's that Coast Guard ship that was followed by a dozen to 20 or some odd drones out at sea. Now, why would our drone force be out there sniffing around for nuclear materials on one of our own Coast Guard ships? See, some of this don't fit. Also, by the way, this phenomenology is really nationwide now. I've been seeing video from one of our members of the Freedom Restoration Foundation that she's getting in Guthrie, Oklahoma, that shows what looks like plasma balls. And she's videoed these on several occasions, and I think up to 3 at one time in Guthrie, Oklahoma. Now that's just north and really almost part of Oklahoma City. You could say that might have something to do with Tinker Air Force Base, perhaps. Maybe that is being monitored more remotely, but they're not. I haven't seen any reports of them directly over Tinker. So what is cooking here? But here's the stranger part. It's that some of these, there was some ABC Channel 7 showing video of one that was clearly an orb. And lots of people are taking videos of these orbs. Some say they're plasma balls. But the stranger thing is that They when they fly over cars lose power. Their clocks on the vehicles change. And I'm hearing some reports of something like this going on over Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. So what is really going down with these drones? Now that is not something that you would expect to be a side effect of a conventional drone sniffing around for nuclear materials. Now sure, they would fly low because they're trying to sniff. Yeah, nighttime is valid operations. From Marokas come out and claim, oh, well, all these drones are just because we changed the nighttime flying rules back in 2023, allowing drones to fly at night. Well, here's another thing. You got to realize, all modern drones in the United States now are required to have an ID chip, at least all the new ones. I don't know what year they passed the law, but these are clearly advanced drones, are clearly new. And so if they were really being truly compliant, like they said, with them, showing running lights and things like that, like an aircraft, then why is it that we're not getting the ID from these drones? Because they all have an ID package built into them, and when you purchase one of these, you have to register that. And if you're flying without having done so, I guess you're flying illegal. So, and another thing, sometimes these lights, running lights, shut off when the drones are detected. So, are they running these lights just to not generate attention? Because it's going to be pretty obvious the drone is flying over. So, it might be military, Kevin. Perhaps it could be our military. That's a possibility. Now, I'm not claiming I got the answers, but I do have another suggestion that's maybe more frightening than anything you've heard yet. So, of course, Marokas and all the feds are telling us, we don't know who they are, what they are, where they're from, but they're not ours, they're not foreign, and they're not a threat. That is non sequitur. That is, it don't make sense. It don't. That is one of the lamest things I've ever heard. Of course, everybody believes that. It's just being totally lame. So, they're hiding something. So with all the power that the NSA supposedly to track every phone call, every radio communications in the world, isn't it funny that they can't figure out where these things are coming from, where they're going to, who they belong to? Well, maybe they do belong to our side. Maybe some have suggested that we're trying to develop new technology and that this is a practice, but scaring the heck out of the public that way is a big question. Some people think that this is being done to determine how the public will react to these technologies, and that's a possibility. Hey, Diane, ho ho ho. By the way, but there's another possibility that concerns me a little bit more, especially when you consider the reports. Now, I haven't personally seen these. I have seen a UAP, a drone, actual drone flying over Ardmore, Alabama on about 2 or 3 occasions, twice, I believe. Hey, we got another super chat. Rodney, wow, thank you, sir. I thought I heard a putty cat. Yeah, you did. I got a new one here. I had a guy I bought solar panels from, said, hey, do you want another cat? And I said, well, your cats used to have been outdoors. He said, oh, yeah, they're all outside cats. So I'm thinking, okay, this would be one I could just turn loose. So he said he had a cat for me. Well, it turned out it was a kitten. I can't release this cat to the outside. This cat's got to be raised first. So yeah, I got a new putty cat, and it's hiding under the cot at the moment and mewing. But that cat's name is Mouse Force 2. Because this job is going to be to get mice, but it's not ready for it yet. Not by a long shot. That's the long name, Mouse Force 2. I think the nickname is going to be Smokey. Or maybe Bandit. It does look a little bit like a coon cat, but I believe probably Smokey. Bandit might be a better name. Maybe I'll let y'all vote on that here in a little bit. If we can never see the kitty. It's a gray fur ball. It's kind of like, this cat looks big, but it's like the Monster and Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century, if y'all remember that cartoon. Space Adventure of Daffy Duck as Duck Dodgers with his assistant, Porky the Pig. When Porky caught the creature, he shaved it and discovered it was all hair. There was nothing else there. This cat's kind of like that. Hey, we got another super chat for the cat food. Well, thank you, A.M. Ryan. Thank you very much. Yeah, cat food is one of my new expenses that's going up. Excuse me. Pardon me, guys. So, yeah, she comes out under the cot. I'll let y'all see this cat mouse force too. Kitty cat, kitty kitten. Anyway, guys, so here's what gets me here. I don't know if you guys ever saw Ashton Forbes videos and his analysis. Ashton Forbes did a very in-depth analysis on the disappearance of the Malaysian flight MH370. You may have seen him on the Leak project or the Oppenheimer Ranch project. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but that was a disturbing video. It had 3 orbs. There's video, I think, from 2 different sources, and Ashton collaborated this with data from satellites and other data. Hey, Toledo Jew says, hold the cat up. Well, the cat's kind of hiding right now under the cot. If it comes out in a little bit, I'll introduce it. Oh, you see if it matches my beard? No, it's gray color. It's a gray color. My beard is more white. This is gray. So, anyway. So, guys, that's why I'm thinking Smokey would be a good name for this kitty. So, but thank you for the super chat. The DOD is worried about the terrorist smuggling and dirty news. Well, they should be, because it happened before, according to the Russians that were reporting that after the Iron Curtain fell. So, it's a possibility, guys. But how does that account for the orbs that flew over our Coast Guard ship? How does that account for the orbs over international space, and particularly our bases overseas? How does that account for the strange phenomenology seen in automobiles that are losing power and time? How does that explain the other strangeness that we were seeing and hearing about? Well, this thing that Ashton Forbes presented was extremely strange, science fiction strange. To think that we might have the kind of technology that was portrayed in there is off the charts. I mean, basically what he showed in his videos, and they've been on the Oppenheimer Ranch project, they've been on Leak project, and probably other sources. Even Gary Frenchy mentioned it on Next News Network. So that, here we are. Come here, baby. Here we are. All right, is that Smokey Bandit? Y'all can vote later. So let's get back to the story at hand. It's all hair. Just like Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century. It's all hair. There's nothing else in there. Anyway, so let's get back to the story here. We may have extremely advanced technology, because that video showed 3 orbs circling around MH370, and the orbs in MH370 vanished in a poof, instantaneously. What kind of technology would that require? Have we mastered, to some degree, transdimensional technology? Have we mastered what you might call teleportation, sufficient enough to actually move a jet airliner in flight? I'm not saying that's the case. I am not saying that is the case. I'm asking a question, simply because it was on 2 separate videos from 2 different angles. Nobody else talks about it. And it was also collaborated by satellite data and other data, eyewitnesses and so forth, by Ashton Forbes. He did a deep analysis on it, and in the realms of physics It's possible. Do we have that kind of technology? He thinks it's something that's not alien. He thinks that is something that our government may have had. If our government has such technology, then you would say there's no way we could ever lose a war or anybody could ever beat us. The problem is that if we do have that technology, it's buried so deep, it's very limited in scale. And high technology weapons of limited scale are very limited in their application. It's like a lot of our advanced missiles. Once you run out, you're out. It's you know, these high-tech toys are good for a limited time, a limited application, but in a long slugfest of a true war, they may not hold the day. What counts is to be able to deploy your systems at scale, at volume, at scale. And if something being hidden in a lab or at Groom Lake, Area 51 or whatever, if it's that hidden and that secret and there's that small amount of it, it's not at scale. So its applicability in warfare is going to be limited to some special operation at best, if we have that kind of technology. That's a big, ginormous if. Don't go out and say, Greg said this is happening, Greg says this is, Greg says that. No, I'm not saying it. But what I am saying is this. These drones then are flying at scale. If somebody else has put these here, it could be a warning shot. It could be saying, look what we can do at scale. It could be saying, hey, you know, even if it's just conventional drones, to be able to fly over our military bases, over our sensitive aircraft. I already mentioned that in the previous video, how that there are chemicals that could take the crews out. Chemicals that could easily do this. Chemical warfare agents that are using chemicals that are already manufactured at scale and widely available, including here in the United States. Chemicals that are sourced primarily from China. And we know, if you look at the Ukraine war, how munitions have been used. And here's the other funny thing. Oh yeah, there's biologicals. Oh, we didn't discover some strange, nefarious biolab in Reedy, California a few years back, did we? A couple of years ago? Nah, we didn't see nothing there. Move on. There's nothing to this. So there's a lot more to consider here, guys. The fact they're flying over our critical infrastructure. Now suddenly everybody's clued in like, oh, the biggest thing is that we might have a dirty bomb in the United States. We might have a nuke. That's the scariest thing possible. No, it's not. No, it's not. If they detonated a nuclear weapon in a major city, you would have far, 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 far fewer casualties than if he took down our power grid. Because taking down our power grid, we seem to be so focused on nuclear weapons. We seem to be so focused on that we're missing the point. The point that I've been making since the inception of this channel. If you take down the power grid, it's worse than a full-scale nuclear war. I have said that repeatedly, and I've covered it tit for tat in videos years ago as to what it really means, and I've spelled it out in excruciating detail. How you will lose over 90% of the population in America in a year. Nuclear war don't do that. Not by itself, not without taking down the grid. And nuclear war is likely to take down the grid. But it's the loss of the grid and our critical infrastructure, especially the power grid, which is the keystone of the whole thing, that is something we need to pay a lot of attention to. That's why I've been calling for grid hardening for years. That's why I chaired 2 power grid defense conferences before I ever started YouTubing. This is something to be concerned with. So even if it's conventional drones, there's plenty to be concerned about there. Should there be a activation, should sleeper cells be activated. So that could be just a warning shot, then it could be no nefarious, strange technology. But the fact that cars are losing power, what else, and clocks are changing, that's the kind of phenomenology people used to attribute to UFOs. Now, I do think that these things are from human sources. If they were from some non-human parallel and another dimension of civilization or something from somewhere, somewhen else, they would be more advanced than what we're seeing right now. Yeah, they wouldn't have to be doing this little show of force. So Our advanced technology allows for larger population live in smaller areas. Yeah, we can do that. Guys, if you see my videos I've done on universal habitat, you could house all the people you'd ever have and not have any impact on the environment, which goes really counter to the Club of Rome and the House of Klaus and what they claim. You know, we could live within our resources and have prosperity. But they don't want you to know that, because that goes against control. We want to control you to be able to survive as a species and not chew up all the resources. We're going to have excruciating control over every thing you do over you. You will own nothing and you will be happy, right? Rodney says, Arnold Smith, how is the weather up your way? Saw news that down here that 55,000 Canadian postal workers have gone on strike. Wow. Yeah, that's going to disrupt some stuff. Big time up in Canada. Very good friends. The House of Klaus. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Maria. That's what I call it, the House of Klaus. That way. Words in this video, I may be in trouble. But guys, this is what it boils down to. There's plenty to be concerned about, and it may, if it's nuke sniffers, yeah, that's if somebody was to put a dirty bomb or a nuke in the United States and it did go off, how would we react? The reaction would be scarier than the actual device itself. I mean, that's scary. It's plenty scary. I mean, you lose access to town or city just because of radiation, and it becomes a no-go zone. That's going to wreck our infrastructure, or it could cause our economy to collapse. Just the reactions to it. So that's plenty to worry about. But what I'm saying is this may be even bigger, because that scenario, which looks very likely from many angles, doesn't seem to cover the entire spectrum of what we're seeing. It may be indeed part of what's going on. It could even be everything that's going on. But why did these orbs follow a Coast Guard ship? Why do these orbs, or what are they are? They're not all orbs. A lot of them are definitely conventional looking UAPs or UAVs, whatever you want to call them. But there's those that don't seem to fit with their phenomenology. Now, is this somebody, where are these reports coming from? How accurate are they? How much of this is being generated? Hard to say. Hard to say. But, guys, yeah, UK already is. So, there is, thank you, Chewy Weather, for showing up. He's been real good to me lately, sending me some little hand and foot warmers to throw in my sleeping bag at night, and a little miniature chainsaw. So salute to Chewy Weather. Anyway, guys, so there's all the answers are not in, not entirely. And if I think this might be a warning shot, if there is some adversary out there who is capable of having, this plasma propulsion technology that some say that we're witnessing, who is capable, this stuff flies over it, it alters the electronics in cars. What are they capable of? Like I say, is this a warning shot to America? Say, look, you can't do nothing. We got you by the jugglers. And indeed, they might. Because even just considering the remote switches, which might be in our power grid from our good friends over to CCP, right? Our good buddy, Xi Jinping. Oh yeah, Trump tried to make peace. He threw him a peace feather. Said, hey, come to my inauguration. Xi Jinping turned it down. Maybe this is him saying, nah, I don't need you anymore. Maybe he's got his own agenda and he's going to stick to it. And maybe even as Trump wants to be tough, maybe he said, you can't be. We got you. Checkmate. Checkmate. Sleeper cells in America. Sleeper cells, it don't take but a few people, just a very few, to do enormous damage. Just look at what happened in the Metcalf station back in I believe it was April 16th of 2013. I get my 13s and 16s mixed up sometimes. But guys, people on the ground can do, small teams can do enormous damage to our infrastructure. And here's another intel piece I got from somebody from law enforcement who was talking about how when the Chinese come over here on the certain tours, that they're, instead of going on to see what the tourists to see, when they're driving under the bridges, these guys are busy photographing the underside of the bridges and things like that. And we already know that some of the Chinese nationals have been arrested here in the United States for their spying on infrastructure, for even drone activity. And 2 guys were arrested in Boston for interrupting the airport there. So, and the Stewart International Airport that serves New York City and Orange County, I believe New York. So what's New York got a county called Orange County for? I can see Orange County in California. I can see Orange County in Florida. Why is there an Orange County up there? But anyway, the Stewart International Airport was shut down for a couple hours because of drone activity around the airport. So who's doing this? And this is having impacts, guys. So we're being sized up. That might be, but it may be a warning shot. And the warning shot might be, look, guys, we're capable of taking out everything. Everything you got, you can't get off the ground. You can't do diddle squat. We'll stop your comms. We'll stop your aircraft. Your doomsday plane will not fly. Your very low frequency transmitters are going to topple over. You can't talk to your submarines. Your missiles won't get past the stratosphere or out of the troposphere. Your they may be after us, and your planes can't fly. This may be what they're trying to tell us. It may be the ultimate checkmate. Just roll over, surrender. I don't see us surrendering, but the consequences of what this could be is highly disconcerting, and government would not want you to know this. And it seems they're still marching toward plans to try to force a war in Europe. And they're not doing much to keep peace in the South China Sea. Could be false flags, high space, it could be. And this all could be just to prep us for something that they want to do big time. Because the state that runs so deep really don't want to be dethroned. They don't want to see the Department of Government Efficiency get activated. They don't want to see these things happen. How far would they go to prevent that? What would they do? I don't know. But we're living in strange times, almost science. We're living like it's science fiction, guys, today. Our world is more sci-fi like than you might imagine. Just look at Google, got a new computer. They call it Willow. They say Willow in 5 minutes can do what the best supercomputer on Earth would take, umpteen up septillion years to do. I mean, far longer than the age of the universe to calculate. It did in 5 minutes. And they're claiming that is proof positive that there are other dimensions in our universe, our multiverse, which is something I've been saying for a long time. That's what's, I believe, really required for us to have free will. But it all exists all at once. That's the funny thing about it. But you can still have free will if you have a vast multiverse. That's another topic, a whole nother topic. But guys, there is much to consider here, much to ponder. And oh yes, physicists also now have believe they've proven that there is that tachyon universe, which is like a mirror image of ours, in which the rest state is infinite velocity. And when things slow down from that side toward the speed of light, it gains infinite mass particles. These tachyons are the opposite of particles in our universe, and time runs backwards there. That universe would also instantaneously map out every possible pattern, which would be beyond anything in any supercomputer. To us, it would look like God. Maybe God is there. How would it not be super duper intelligent beyond all belief? But I think all that and our universe are all an artifact created by a greater creator who's outside of this vast multidimensional universe, which defies our ability to conceive. There is a greater creator. I'm thoroughly convinced that is bigger than you can imagine, more powerful than you can imagine. You know, he's far too big to have to rule over a little bitty tiny flat earth with a vaulted ceiling immersed in a bubble of water. The greater creator is mind-boggling. We can't even conceive of the power of the greater creator. And why I believe there's a greater creator? Because I know that we have spirits. We're spiritual beings, and the big question is why spiritual beings living in the physical universe. But that's a whole other topic in and of itself. 35 days remaining to DJD becomes POTUS, and that's a long time to get for things to get messy. Amen. So what can be going down might go down fast, and that is the point Arnold made. We may have a very short time. The fuse may be short. Guys, get ready, get prepared, do it now. Don't waste whatever these drones are or are not. They are apparently a harbinger. They're either a harbinger for there might be something in the States that shouldn't be here, or a harbinger for some type of activity, be it false flag, be it warning shot, or maybe the other side is just practicing. They're getting ready and they know we can't do nothing about it. Like that big balloon that flew across the United States. You know, what do we do? Oh, okay, it's across the country. Now we might take a pot shot at it. Well, I did quite a video on the threat of balloons. Well, if these things have the capabilities close to, and if the type of capabilities and technologies do exist, I said if, that is being portrayed by Ashton Forbes with regards to the strange, mysterious disappearance of MH370, look out. Yeah, we might have a little bit of it, but if this stuff is like that, they've got it at scale. That's far more scary. And maybe they're deploying it. So I don't know, guys. This is something to be concerned about. This is something to think about. This is, do you have your bug out bag ready? I'm living in my bug out zone right now. I'm building my tiny home. We got the installation up now. I got a door on it. So I should be moving in real soon. And so I am off grid to the hill. I just bought about 8 kW worth of solar arrays. I got to set that system up, and I got to figure out how I'm going to go about that. So get ready. Guys, I'm putting what my pennies and my effort where my mouth is. You know, there's a lot of preppers out there that just talk. You know, guys, the ones that are doing something are the ones you need to be listening to. Now, some of us don't have time to talk as much. You know, I don't have you know, I'm not a seller of, you know, tons of stuff that's coming out of my warehouses, so I can't afford to hire big crews to build fancy greenhouses and, you know, buy, you know, big expensive equipment items to dig with. I'm just having to scratch and make it as best I can, but we can all do that to some degree. If you have some means to get out of the big cities, I would not want to be in a big city when it goes down. You know, you're talking, you will be the long port. And I always say, don't be the long port. How many times have I said that? That's what you got to worry about. Buy a diesel heater yet? No, Keith, I haven't. But Keith, I've been up in your neighborhood the past couple of days getting solar arrays, solar panels. So, excuse me. It's real pretty up there where Keith's at, by the way. Real pretty. Very beautiful up there. You can see the mountains. There's trees up in that area. So he's in a real pretty place. Big Brother Frosty's coming soon. Yeah, we're about to get some winter, and I hope to get my stuff in before the winter hits. So, anyway, here's the kitty cat again. The new one. So, and Mouse Force 2. Why cats? Because I don't like rats. Cats are an answer to rats. That and baking soda and cornmeal. So I'll be doing some of that too. And some traps. Oh, tactical, that's nice. I don't know what he said. Hey, how many mods we got in the house? I'm not sending so many mods as usual. We got a lot of people that aren't mods. We had a peak attendance of over 200, but only got 55 thumbs up, guys. You know, this network don't really favor us too much. Oh, only 2, Rodney? Wow. That's interesting. Arnold and Rodney. Okay, you guys are going to be busy there. Greg needs a HF radio, even a cheap shortwave. Well, it's just one more thing to do. Right now, I am struggling to do the basics. I really am. That will come later if I can. Well, thank you there, Maria. You could go to greengregs.com and go to the page for ordering worms. I'm not selling worms there now, but the donate button is still active, so you can donate directly there, or you can put a super chat in here. Either way. World radiation map, check it out. Yeah, it was said there was a spike in radiation in New York City, and they took the sensor down after it showed that spike. That could be because it was a bad sensor. Well, maybe they just don't want you to know. So there could be something to this dirty bomb stuff. Another reason you would not want to be in a big city. You don't want to be near a nuclear power plant. You don't want to be near a military base if you can avoid it, especially a SAC base, a missile base, a sub base, places that have where we store our nuclear weapons. Those are not going to be good places to be near if we get into a full range nuclear war. So I don't know, guys. Y'all need to think about that. Y'all need to really think. Can you, if you're in one of those areas, can you get out? Do you have an option to escape to somewhere else? You better be weighing that option carefully right now. And if your answer to that is bug out, have a destination to bug out to. Just bugging out to nowhere is bugging out to nothing, and nothing, you know, it's like multiplication. Anything times 0 equals 0. You know, you got to be ready, guys. Think your preps through. Think through what you're going to do. So some of this has been helpful for you. Oh my God. Why would somebody ask a question like that? Good grief. I don't even want to go into that. Tunneling from US to UK. Oh yeah, they're talking about a big underseas tunnel now. Well, that would presuppose that we survive all this mess. And we might. Let's hope we do. There's always hope. I always tell you, as long as you got breath in your lungs, you got hope. Now, this kitty is too small to go out. This is a little kitten. The big cat is out. He wanted out, he got out. This little kitty would be a hors d'oeuvre, or just an appetizer to some of these coyotes around here. One bite, he'd be gone. So he don't get out yet. He's got to grow a little bit. I hadn't had a look at it. Hadn't had my look-see yet to figure it out. That's why I think Smokey might be a good name. I know she stops crying when he picks her up. Yeah. Likes attention. Likes to be petted. So, any event, guys. So, we don't have all the answers yet about these drones. We may have some, and the prevailing theory may have a ring to it. It may be part of the answer, but like I said, there's phenomenology reported that don't seem to fit. So there may be a more complex answer, and it could be far worse. And don't suppose that a nuclear weapon is the worst alternative. It's not. Just bringing the grid down is far worse than, as I said in the past, the full-scale nuclear war. People just lose sight of this because they can't imagine, because everybody's so focused in and keyed in on nuclear weapons. It's like with the nuclear power plants. Everybody's so focused on the reactor. And I tell you, forget the reactors. Think about the spent fuel rods. There's far more radioactive material there. It's not even in the concrete containment building. Yeah, they got a roof over a lot of it, but that roof would melt real fast should those rods start to burn, guys. I've talked about that a lot too. You all move? Do you still need to move more stuff? I've got 2 vans. I got a trailer loaded with my final privates out there that I need to get out here, and a tractor. And that's it. Everything else is here. By far, most of my stuff is here. Just a few little straggler items. The tractor is in the mechanic shop right now. So as soon as I pay that mechanic, I assume he's going to finish fixing my tractor. My cat is Mr. Cheese. So yeah, I'm here. This is my home now. My home is in Arizona. Yeah, I know the band Alabama had a good song called My Home's in Alabama. Well, it was for decades. And good memories. So there'll always be a good streak of Alabama inside of me. Chemical, biological too. Yes, Carol, I've been talking about the chemical threat. All you have to do is look at what happened, what we found in Reedy, California, to know there's a biological threat. There are reports of some of these things spraying. If they're spraying, what does that have to do with nuke detection? See, that's another thing. This suggests that the nuke sniffers are not the whole answer, that there may be something else going on. So, let's see, what is this? They talk about the hope we have in Jesus, not just the doom and gloom of the world. Well, there you are. Like I said, I'm not a religious channel. I'm trying not to, I don't want to dissuade people from other faiths from prepping or gardening. But I have seen the Shroud of Turin, and I do believe it's real. And I believe the image imprinted on it was from the resurrection of Jesus. So that is my personal feeling, my personal thought, and there's nothing that counteracts that. In fact, one of the key scientists that joined that project to investigate it with the intention of disproving it, became a Christian, based on his findings looking at the Shroud. So we'll put that in your smoke and pipe it. So yeah, he was an atheist. He was going to disprove the Shroud. He wanted to disprove Jesus Christ, and then he found that and became a Christian. How about that, guys? There are sleeper cells waiting for instructions from the ISIS caliphate. Yeah, and there's sleeper cells probably from China. There's sleeper cells possibly from Russia. There's sleeper cells from Iran, because Iran admitted to having sleeper cells here who had already targeted our key 20 of our key transformers, and this we knew way back in 2013. So guys, we know these things. Well, some of us do. I mean, this was stuff that the insiders here within the organization founded by Peter Vincent Pry, the late Dr. Peter Vincent Pry, knew. He had the intel, and he shared this with us, how they came out and said, yeah, we got sleeper cells that's already targeted 20 of the major substations in the United States. And this was after the organization known as FERC, Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, put out their report that, no, actually it wasn't FERC, it was NERC, National Electric Reliability Corporation, put out their report saying that you could take out 9 of the critical substations and take down their whole grid. And you consider that China has perhaps devices embedded in our transformers that could do this. When you consider how they've hacked our infrastructure so massively, we are in for a rude awakening if we're not careful. So don't be surprised, guys, because when it happens, if there's any news station to report anything at all, the first thing they're going to say, no one could have imagined this. Well, I've been harping on it for years. No one could have imagined this, because they won't be able to broadcast diddle. So get ready, be prepared. Always hope and pray that these things do not come to pass, because they did not see Donald Trump getting elected. So even for all they do, they don't have the upper hand. As I've been telling you guys for a long time, there's more of us than there is of them. And the election of Donald John Trump is proof. And there is hope. Whether he makes it to office or not, whether he actually gets to activate the stuff he wants to or not, There is hope amongst us. There's hope that we can, and I know we can make a difference. So never give up. So we are looking some pretty, we were looking at getting some solar collection set up. There you go, albeit Witch Wiggler. That's a good thing. You don't know me, Mom. How you doing? Good morning to you. It's about to be good night to me. Biden's asleep at the wheel. And maybe a psyop too. Yeah, he probably is, but whoever is running him, whoever his puppet masters are not. Look, they're tearing down the border wall. If you think that that party is here to protect democracy, as they call it, you know how they said, oh, all the doomsday for our representative government accusations they made toward people that support Trump. Who is it that put their presidential candidate up that didn't even go through primaries? Who is it, despite the fact that the public voted largely over the immigration issue and resoundingly went for Trump? There's a mandate to secure the border. Yet what are they doing? They're trying to knock the wall down now. So they're not exercising the will of the people because they want to change this country. Well, part of the objective is to diminish our national identity because they want to merge all the countries to create the big dream that's been established by the House of Klaus. Well, they're going to have a tough time doing that because the people don't want no part of it. Nobody in the world wants it, even the European countries that got sucked into the European Union. The people, the rank and file people there don't want no part of it. So that's the case. That's the case, guys. So the director of the FAA is resigning. Yeah, I think it should. Great big boiling pot. There's nothing wrong with bringing people in from other countries if they're here to assimilate and become part of the dream of freedom, the dream of opportunity. But some of them aren't coming for that. And there's a lot of criminals. And you need to vet who's coming across the border and what they're bringing with them. Be it something in their backpacks, sneaking in dirty devices, sneaking in viruses. Well, what populated that lab in Reedy, California? How do they get all that stuff? What about all these gang members, Trinity de Agua? Yeah, we got stuff coming across the border that shouldn't come across the border. What about the third world diseases that are popping up in this country now that we had gotten rid of, like tuberculosis? So there you are, guys. We're being punished for successes. Well, no good deed goes unpunished, right? Yeah, Ed, let's pray that that does happen. Let's pray that we have a successful inauguration and that things do go forward. Let's pray that the House of Klaus doesn't get to instigate a WW3 and martial law don't get slapped down, suspending everything. Let's pray that those things do not come to pass. That's what I'm saying. Brian, how you doing, buddy? Haven't seen you in a little while. So let's just pray that we can hold all this together. I do believe in prior prayer. So, not across the border of Mexico, coming from space and under the ocean. Well, wherever these things are coming from, consider it a warning shot, a harbinger for something. That's my warning. We shouldn't separate the families. Well, no. But that's been going on under both sides of the house, even though each points to the other. They both have been doing it. So, alrighty. So, glad to know you're doing good, well there, Brian. Rodney says, Greg, why is it that the USA is the only country in the world that the fentanyl is a major problem? Because our borders are wide open. Because our culture, here's another thing. We have dumbed our culture down. We've dumbed our schools down. We've taken God out of the system. And we tell the kids they ain't got no hope. So if you got no hope, you turn to dope. It's sad. We could have a prosperous future, very prosperous future, and people need to know and understand that. That's why Make America Great Again, it resounds with a lot of people. It's a message of hope. But somebody don't like that hope. They don't think America should be great. I think all countries should be great. Frankly, all countries, everybody in the world should have a chance to excel. And if they all had freedom, they could. And if this whole world had freedom, it would be astounding what you would see, the transformation in humanity, in the world. Freedom is the answer. Drill, baby, drill. Canada has a major problem, too, with the fentanyl, says Chase Hamilton. Yeah, I don't doubt that for a minute. Visit, hi, Gandalf, how you doing? BZO. Freelance wizard since we and where in Oz are you living? Where in Oz? You're in Oz. That's the nickname for Australia, right? Alrighty. I don't believe in deportation. It should. I'll definitely. Be death penalty. Oh, well, we need to do something with Trinity Agua, especially the criminals that have come across. Well, they're all criminals. If you come in the United States illegally, that's illegal. Anything illegal is criminal, is it not? By definition. Although some people want to say it's not. Is it not? If you break the law, is that not a criminal activity? But yeah, I think we got to get the criminal elements out, the gangs especially. Right. Yes, Greg. He said that we have a fentanyl problem down here. Yeah, it's all over the free world. Sasquatch Man, how you doing? 16 degree and snowstorms. Supposed to get down to 16 here tonight. 16 tonight here in the van. I've been in this van at 9 degrees this fall. I forgot how cold it got last year when I was out here, something like that. But hopefully I'll be moving into my tiny home soon. All the roads lead to Rome. Klaus Schwab is just a front man. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But you know, he's the one up front. So enunciating and those goals, we know they trace back to the Meadows and Meadows report, which was funded and instigated by the club of where you said all roads lead. I don't know if I should say that out loud here, all in one fell swoop. I've already hit enough trigger points here in this video. Yeah, that's true, Keith. It is state legal, but not federally legal. But the feds don't do anything about it here. But if you work for the federal government and you get tested, you're in deep kimchi. I heard a story that some Venezuelan gang taking over apartment complexes. Yes, Brendan, that is happening in Aurora, Colorado, and maybe other places. So, but yeah, we're told that nothing to worry about. That's what they keep telling us. Nothing to worry about. Roll over, go back to sleep. Don't worry your pretty little head. We got it covered. Yeah, right. On the road to the house of Klaus Arnold Smith, 16 degrees Fahrenheit. Is that what you're at? There? That's where we're going here. All right. Says a hard-working, good job. Anyway, guys, yeah, I'm going to have to hit the hay. It is late for me. I got to get up early. I can't do this late stuff like I used to, not at scale. And I'm taking on a little bit too much here for the night. Didn't sleep, not really. So, yeah, I got to get back to the workplace. Klaus has the looks and character of the front man. Yeah, he looks like a character out of a sci-fi movie himself, does he not? Especially when he put on that strange garb. Like something, you know, like some kind of Sith warrior, or whatever you call it. Sith, you know, it kind of fits with some of the language used in Star Wars, fits with some of the other motifs from our history. Yes, I thought it was very interesting that the kid Anakin actually was the builder of C-3PO. Basically, he made a statue speak. Don't we hear in Revelation some character makes a statue speak and gives it power? And what was C-3PO? He was a so-called language protocol droid. Boy, he could speak. But he did not give power to the dark side, fortunately. So minus 10C here in western Alberta. All right. So, yeah, we got a good crowd here tonight. So, all right, bottom line. Whatever, all the answers are not in for the drones. But whatever is occurring, it is disturbing, to say the least. Whatever it is, whatever the answer is, it's disturbing. And it could be even worse than what some people are assuming. So, I highly encourage everyone to take your preps seriously. Well, I might not get to see it. So, now just remember, this is a family channel, so make sure you keep your language clean. And you just got to be careful, you know. Tampa Project Gremlin. Please, please don't take pot shots. Yeah, the drones could be performing serious, valid work. If they're looking and sniffing for a nuke, there were people in New Jersey that were doing just that, taking pot shots at them. Don't do it. Also, where's that lead going to come down at? Yeah, don't be doing that, guys. So, guys, the arrested had a drone in a backpack. Ooh, all kind of backpacks come across the border, didn't they? And for the larger drones, maybe they're just bringing pieces of them to assemble here. What else might they be bringing across? AAC from Brownsville, Texas. Plenty of closed mines and wells, though. Yeah. Hello, how are you? Yeah, who knows? But Dirt Poor Farmer down in Florida, good to see you. Raspberry, where's your warm-up hat? Well, I actually got a heater running here, so it's not as cold yet, but it's going to get cold. So, I've got a little electric heater. It'll help to a certain point, but after a certain point, it can't keep this van warm. So I'll crawl in my sack here in a minute to stay warm. So, Raz, where you at, Raspberry? Are you up here in this area? Yeah, I know where Keith's at. I drove through there yesterday and the day too. Through the Y he's talking about. Been there. You kitty, where's the old kitty? The old kitty's outdoors chasing rats. Doing exactly what he wants to do. Anyway, so appreciate everybody being here. The watchword is, don't have all the answers yet, and things may be worse than you'd want to imagine. Cowboy Roy Rogers, what are you doing up so late or so early in your case? Pay attention, guys. Keep your eyes wide open and head on a swivel. That's what I always tell you to do. But don't lose your head. Because if you lose your head, you might really lose it. So don't panic. No matter how crazy it gets, don't panic. But it does seem like we're living in sci-fi times. Yeah, now Cowboy Roy Rogers knows about, I didn't go into detail about it, but I mentioned Cowboy, the stuff going on around Guthrie, Oklahoma. He knows all about that. Shield Maiden, how you doing? Hadn't seen you in a while, just tuning in. Don't know if you're already said, but John's might be. Oh yeah, I've talked about that. But I've also talked about how that nuke sniffer scenario doesn't answer the question for all the drones. There's plenty of phenomenology that don't fit that. So that may be part of the answer, but it may not be the entire answer or even the answer. There's still, and I threw out another possibility here, and how this might be a warning shot to us. Or whatever the case is, it's a harbinger for things that aren't looking good. So car-sized, yeah, that's what they're saying, it's car-sized. So there's various reports. And some of them are reports of them having fixed wings that rotate like an osprey. They can do vertical takeoff, vertical landing. That's very much a conventional device, by the way. That's not some plasma technology. So they don't all fit. Oh, your son's in Vernon. Okay. Yeah, Vernon's like next door. I went through that area tonight. Someone inside them? I don't think so. They're too small for anybody to be inside them. They're far too small for that. The drone story creeps me out. Yeah, there's plenty to be worried about, especially if there's some of these are employing the technologies of plasma propulsion, and or all the way perhaps to the scale that Ashton Forbes was talking about in his studies on the disappearance of MH370 in Malaysian Airlines. Guys, that is some weird stuff. That is some really weird stuff, and it's hard to argue with given the cases he's presented. So yeah, that's true, Roy. They are trying to keep us from defending ourselves for some strange reason. It's interesting how they favor judges that want to turn all the crooks loose and throw everybody else in the caboose. Yeah, it's just odd, really odd, guys. It's what's good is bad and what's bad is good. The world is turned upside down. Sounds like something from both 1984 and the Book of Revelations. Guys, we are living in strange times. It's like living in a sci-fi movie, or maybe a Left Behind movie. I don't think we're left behind yet, but guys, do pay a lot of attention. Yes, these are traveling with our friends in some areas. Yes, I did not mention that, but it appears that one of our friends is being followed. One of our friends of freedom. Is that not strange? What's that got to do with nuke sniffing? So there's still a lot of questions out here. I just think the military is flying them drones around because they can. That could be. Like I said, some people have suggested they're testing us to see how we're going to react to these for whatever they plan to do with them. There are those that are making that claim. That is one of the claims that's out there. I don't know, guys. Whatever it is, it can't be good. Whatever it is, it's a harbinger. But don't give up hope. Just remember, there's more of us than there is of them. If this drones is a platform for warfare, are game changers. Big time game changers. I've talked about that. Talked about that many times. So just be aware. Oh yeah, one other thing. Y'all might remember back when the UAP stories were first breaking with the Tic Tacs flying around and all that kind of stuff. You might remember that there was video of multiple flashing lights flying over some U.S. warships off of California, coast of California. And my good friend that I know personally, Travis Taylor. I have to be careful not to get him and Travis Walton mixed up. Sometimes I get those names. Two Travises that are both linked to strange stories. Travis Taylor is a physicist, and he is now a big star on Skinwalker Ranch show. But he was quoted in saying, he actually was contracted by the Pentagon to do some studies on this, and he looked at those lights and said, they bared all the markings of UAVs, but he says we have no technology, battery technology, to be able to fly all the way out to a ship and back. So he thought, if these are UAVs, they've got some breakthrough battery technology, and it could be related to this plasma propulsion or something else. And there may be one of the lessons of what kind of technology has been employed here. Whatever it is, it's been done in scales. At scale. So that's what you got to worry about. Strange Marvel theories. It's almost like the Battle of Los Angeles and the War of the Worlds radio broadcast in the 1950s. Yeah, that does make you think of that, don't it? So the drones are searching for radioactive isotopes in the ground. Well, that's the prevailing theory, but it does not answer the full spectrum of the phenomenology. I mentioned that earlier in the video, so go back and catch it on the rewind and see what I've had to say about that. So it fits a slice of the pie, but not the full spectrum. So what is really going on? Good question. An orb took down a drone in Phoenix a couple of days ago. Oh, yeah, well, there's also been some investigators that went up with their drones. Some state investigators was trying to chase these other drones with their drones, and they couldn't do it. And some of these drones, in one case, they said the drone just disappeared. That sounds a little bit suspicious. And when you talk about this whole thing of sounds Ashton Forbes type technologies, what he was talking about, and the disappearance of MH370. Guys, there's some strange stuff going on. We live in interesting times. A little too interesting. So maybe the cat's coming out of the bag. So China, Joe, written airspace. Should may remember within days of the Chinese balloon, there was a cigar-shaped UAP over Alaska, which they shot down and it shattered like glass. Was it like glass? That part I didn't hear. We do know the one over the Yukon Territory was a balloon flown by the Bottle Gap Brigade up in, I believe it was in Minnesota. I reported on it. I broke the story before anybody else, before any news source, anybody else got it. I broke that story because I knew of these guys. I broke it on this channel and on my Galactic Greg's channel, which has been demonetized. So we may have to go back and work on that channel some guys when we get time. So, yeah, there's a lot of theories out there, but the problem is this full spectrum of what's happening is really broad, which is really worrisome. Yeah, Arnold, we do have new technology coming out. Could be government tested. Could be. So, whatever it is, watch out, guys. Eyes wide open and head on a swivel. That's what I always say. Just be ready, be prepared. Because when you look at everything going on in Europe, when you look at everything, well, Chinese especially, that's what I'm most worried about right now. Are we going to get involved in a war that we can't win with China? Or Iran even. The sleeper cells pose tremendous problem. Tremendous problem. Our open borders has been a threat, and yet the current, potato head, if you know what I'm talking about, who is ruling this country to some degree, even though maybe with puppet strings, they're tearing down the border wall, at least key portions of it. Might have 4 men in it. Well, shield maiden. It could be men, but wow. What drones can do is pretty amazing today. So, yeah, I think it may be equipped with a lot of other equipment instead of people. So, China, Iran, North Korea, and Russia versus NATO. That could be, Bryce. We're not ready for it. We're really not ready. And why are they trying to push us in this direction? Maybe it's just to knock us over. Because we're the last bastion of freedom. And the House of Klaus don't like freedom, apparently. So, they talk about more control. We got to control people, control the resources, and blah, 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 blah. Remember, you will own nothing. You'll have no privacy, and you'll be happy. Oh, yeah. Maybe that goes from 1984 to, what was his name? We talked about that Sonoma that they give everybody. Brain lock. The other guy who had analogous to 1984. Now, help me out, guys. You know what I'm talking about. Got brain lock here in the hours here. So, be ready. Be prepared, my friends. That's all I'm going to say. So I would highly suggest you go to prepwithgreg.com. You can get stuff there. If you're looking to save money, yeah. No, it was Orwell, but there's another guy. Yes, that's it. Huxley. Thank you, Freelance Wizard. Aldous Huxley. That's what I'm talking about. Brave New World. Brave New World. Nugs. Yep, nugs. Have kibbles to feed your nugs, guys. Happiness is a warm nug. A well-fed nug. That evokes practice. The way they pace back and forth in search of pattern makes it look like they likely in the U.S. Air Force looking for something. Well, it may be, but why are they chasing Coast Guard ships? Why are they? There's none of that stuff on a Coast Guard ship. Why are they over our air bases in Europe? So this is a bigger story, guys. Turkey load. There you go. So lots of questions out there, my friend. Guys, no, ladies and gentlemen, don't use any nefarious language here. Don't use any language that is not family friendly. Sorry. That's respect to our members of faith and the fact that, you know, I have had young people watch this channel. Blended in with, oh, you was watching one for 5 minutes that blended in with the sky and was gone. There's some interesting technologies out there. Who is doing it? Hey, Cha-Cha, how you doing? Good to see you in the house. And Madam, the Chinese balloon didn't get a good enough look. That could be, Matt. That could be. But it may be more about something bigger to come than looking. That's what these things could do is off the scale. What they could accomplish, even if they are conventional. But there's some indications that there may be some really breakthrough technologies being played here. 1938 broadcast, War of the Worlds, shrieked out the population. Yeah, we may be same script, different actors. It could be. Could be. Except in that program, they did announce in the beginning and certain intermission breaks that it was a radio broadcast. A lot of people, a show. A lot of people just missed that. I like Jeff Wayne's rock and roll opera, War of the Worlds. If you ever get a chance to hear the entire soundtrack, you get it on YouTube a lot, cut up in different pieces. That's amazing, especially when you get it with some of the video special effects that they were doing back when they were touring the country with that stuff. That's some amazing stuff. I enjoy that. I used to play that around Halloween a lot. Freak my kids out with it once. So that's what the tech. Remember, they're always 20, 30 years or more ahead. Yep, and that may be what we're seeing. Some really mind-boggling technology may be at hand. Like Chi-Chis. We have a Chi-Chis around here, Keith? Sir, I'm on my deathbed. Never got to meet my dad. Could you tell us what your dad was like growing up? Got no one to talk to. A few days left. Merry Christmas. Well, my dad believed in hard work. He said if you didn't work, you shouldn't eat. And he didn't like people that didn't work. So he was very steadfast on that. Yeah, I got videos of my dad on this channel. And my dad lived to be 3 weeks shy of being 99-year-old. He lived by himself. He cooked and cleaned. That very year, he mowed his own yard. He had his own pickup truck, which he drove. So my dad was quite a character. He stayed sharp mentally through the whole time. He would rather tease somebody than eat when he was hungry. But my dad was a hard worker and a good man. So he was a World War II veteran. My dad was in the Battle of the Bulge. So, and his dad was in World War I. And his dad was born during the War of Northern Aggression, in which 3 of his older brothers served on the Southern cause side, even though they were not slave owners. So, there's some really strange stuff said about all that. I did have a direct ancestor that served in the Confederate Army, but he didn't actually see action because he was taken out by the most prevalent killer of the day, which was disease. A lot of the soldiers succumbed to disease back in the day. Sanitation was a rough business. So, thank you, Jim Brewer. I remember when your dad passed. May rest in peace. Well, thank you. But I did manage to get him on a few videos. So go back and watch those. But he was something of an entrepreneur. He did have a day job, and he raised cattle and did so successfully. And when he retired, he continued to work. He worked up until his, up through his 80s and early 90s, and he grew a garden until he became all into taking care of his 20-year younger wife, who was in a nursing home that she passed away. He outlived her. So he was strong, lasted long. Anyway, guys, I gotta go. I gotta get up in a little bit. I don't want to meet myself getting up as I'm lying down. So, all right, yeoman, that sounds good. Guys, I don't know what some of you guys are fussing about. All the Sun, how you doing? Good to see you in the house, All the Sun. That's almost my last name, Allison. All the Sun. God bless, brother. All right, folks. So, yeah, Raspberry, maybe we can meet up sometime. Since your son is in Vernon, one of these days I'll have a rendezvous if we all survive. So let's just hope that these things do not come to pass. Let's hope those that promote World War III and the whole House of Klaus scenario don't get their will. Nothing says that they will. It's not a given. And the vote for Donald John Trump proves that we still have power, guys. Don't forget it. Sure, whether my dad was a log truck driver when I was born, but became the manager of the oscilloscope division of Tektronix. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, Tektronix oscilloscopes. I've used them myself. Good instruments. Great instruments. Anyway, yeah, guys, we're really shy on thumbs up. We've had over 200 people in off and on quite a bit. We got 126 thumbs up, guys. Please do, on the way out, throw us some thumbs up, because this platform really stomps down on me. If you could come to Springfield, I'll buy you lunch. Springfield, what, Illinois? There's more than one Springfield. Well, I'll meet Homer Simpson there. Oh, Lordy. So, everyone, love it. If it happens, let it be. Well, just y'all get ready. Be prepared for the worst. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. But we're living in interesting times. I mean, there's so many things coming at us. The prophecies state that they will not get their evil way. Yeah, the problem is that it may take a lot of us out along the way. Now, that's the problem. Yeah, in the end, we win. That's nothing I've said before. In the end, we win. Don't forget that. But it may be one rough ride. Eager in Springfield. Oh, here in Arizona, Raspberry. Okay. Gotcha. Alrighty, well, you can find my email over on greengregs.com. Email me, maybe we can set up a rendezvous one day. I got to get my tiny home built first and get kind of situated. I'm running behind on it. My light's getting dim. I have to lean into it a little bit here. Anyway, guys. Greg, how do you make a water collection system out of air only? Good question. There is a device called a water worker, which just collects moisture, wicks it into the fabric, and then it drips down into a pan at the bottom. Look it up, water worker. There's also some nets that people have employed on the same fashion, and there are some, a dehumidifier takes the water out of the air. It does take some energy to run it, but there's also some other water collection devices, water panels out there on the market now. It's kind of like solar panels. You might check those out. They're probably a bit pricey, and you can probably find ways to do it yourself. And even out here in the desert, high desert of Arizona, I do see fog. And it hadn't rained here in days. The soil is just powder dry. But for some reason, I see fog in the low areas quite a bit. at sunset. So something to pay attention to. There's always some, even in the dry state, there's always a little bit of moisture. When has also been used? Yeah. Now you can always put bags over leaves on plants. You can sop up dew off grass if you're in a climate where you've got more water available to you. But if you get a temperature differential just on a glass pane, then you got something there. Ernie's wife says just move on to new beginnings. Well, I'm working on that myself. It's also a great bug out location where I'm at. I'm bugging in. I've already bugged out. The whole thing about bugging out, I've done it. That's what I've done. I may have to make another trip to Alabama, like I said, to get a few things. I'm really worried about it. I'm worried that all this might go down when I'm on the road or over there and I can't get back. I could be caught on my britches down the old proverbial saying. I'm not prepared to be there anymore. All my stuff's here. So that will not be good for me. Loads of springs in Wales. That's good. And well water. Yeah, well water is good. Yeah, the radiation won't penetrate that far down. Most of it will die out. The biggest thing you got to worry about over the long term is strontium-90 or just the longer term isotopes. So don't be eating bone material after a nuclear war, because that would have strontium-90 in it. It would go to your bones and radiate you for the rest of your life. So I'd done several videos explicitly stating what to do in nuclear war. See if you can find them on my channel. I got a playlist for it, but phones don't often show those. So you go to your laptop or your computer for that, guys. Yes, I'm living my plan. I'm living what I preach. I'm living it. So again, go to prepwithgreg.com, search in there, get seed. Seed is the best thing you can have. So go to True Leaf Market. Use my links to True Leaf Market. I highly encourage you to do it. Go to some other videos and find the links I post on some other videos. The True Leaf Market and Eden Brothers. Get seeds. Get a lot of them. Get them now while the getting's good. You know, people like to wait till February to order seeds. A lot of times, don't wait. There may not be a means to order. That may be over. So get ready. A bit of topic, but will you please talk about Kempy? And she's about to sing many. Oh yeah, I have mentioned that wheelchair user. We do have a super volcano near Italy that may be about to go off. If it does, you could see global cooling. Maybe a year without a summer, essentially. It could be catastrophic worldwide. And Naples, Italy would be gone in all probability, but it would have potential worldwide ramifications. So the sun can get us, the volcanoes can get us. There's a lot of things that could take us out. So there's a lot of reasons to prepare. They're numerous. Get ready, folks. Get ready. Yes, Nightman's wife, practice survival skills and do it now. Make it second nature. She's exactly right. 5 years out, the 100th anniversary of the Vulcan remaining as its plentiful powers. You know, the House of Klaus wanted everything in effect by 2030, which is only now about almost just 5 years away. And what did Deagle say about 2025? Plenty to think about, plenty to get ready for. Campo Floregi. I may not be able to pronounce that right, but I'll try. Alrighty. Yeah, plenty to be concerned about there, guys. Military underground bases. Oh yeah, I've heard about those. I don't know if they go all the way down the volcanoes. I kind of doubt that, but yeah, I've heard about those bases. So, oh, excuse me. My hand's going to sleep. I've been holding the phone. Yeah, pray and prep. Prep and pray. We have a prep and pray. We have a better day. Amen, Cowboy Rogers. Prep and pray. That's the best I can say. I live in a 1,200 mile volcano zone, so I have a great view of the end. We do have volcanoes here. Fortunately, I haven't any gone off in about 900 years. Let's hope it stays that way. Yep, this is a very volcanic area here in northern Arizona. So 2030 was moved to 2025. Yeah, I could see that. Anyway, guys, let's call it a night. So we got a lot of people in the house. I appreciate that. Please throw some thumbs up. We're running real short on thumbs up. Just did a practice with no electricity on running water. You'll be surprised on what you did prep for. Yeah, that's the best way to prep, is to run yourself through the exercises, guys. What are you going to do when there's no power grid? Hey, we got another super chat. Lord Dragon the Red. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I will get a cup of coffee tomorrow. Absolutely. Alrighty, folks. Yeah, I survive on coffee, for those that know. So thank you very much for that. So thank you, mods, for all you're doing to keeping the channel clean. Thank you, super chatters. You made it an awesome night, and thank you everyone for watching. To one and all, I say a good night and a Merry Christmas coming up. Hopefully, I might be able to do a Christmas special, but my red hat is packed somewhere. My red suit is packed. I got a full Santa Claus suit, but it's packed. So, ho, ho, ho. Green Giant. Green Greg's. Yeah, anyway. Bobby Henry, yeah, I'll probably need them tonight there, Chewy. I'm going to borrow my sleeping bag. Alrighty, folks. Yeah, my feet are getting kind of chilly right now. I got them right in front of the heater, and it's turned just about all the way up now. Like I said, the heater's going to lose power here against the cold. So, again, thank you everyone for watching. To one and all, a good night. God bless. Greg out.